Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Keepsy, aka Keeper of the Keys. Okay. So, I've already shuffled the cards, alright. And I've took the 3 off the top. I've shuffled these. I've took this. Right. So, we have gang or a cult or a coven, right? Who has been lying, yeah? And competing against the divine masculine, divine feminine to get them locked up, okay? But they are linking to corrupt people at the courthouse. We've got change, who want to change the way the divine masculine or divine feminine is viewed, right? So, they've been changing legal documentation, okay? There's been a lot of lying on earth, alright? A lot of lying on earth in order to protect the wrong ones, alright? Because they want to get a divine masculine, divine feminine locked up for speaking the truth, okay? We've got courtship. Somebody who was caught in or dating divine masculine, divine feminine was working alongside this mature man, okay? This mature man who's got involved in stealing some money, he's now a wealthy man because he's got involved in stealing some money, alright? And he's been paying people to either go court, or date this female figure or this masculine figure who's speaking out, okay? And they're expecting for them to continue the lie and call this divine masculine, divine feminine mentally ill, alright? So, somebody who, a female or a masculine, was dating, yeah, a mature man along with a community of people, yeah, they've been getting in on cyberbullying, okay, bullying in the streets. It's been going on for years and years and years now, okay, because they are linking to some sort of a cult, okay, and they are spying on the divine masculine, divine feminine. Someone is using divination tools to pry into your personal life for their advantage, okay. They'll be going to some false fake readers, okay. With this mature man, his daughter is involved also. They want to view themselves as some sort of king of an occult, alright? They're lying because they don't want to get locked up for the severe crimes, what they've been committing for a long time. This mature man, maybe even 39 years or more. Maybe even 39 years or more. You've got protected or protection. You are protected. What they have planned for you will not work. So because they do a lot of reckless magic, okay? Free. Somebody's out of control and doing anything to any and everyone they want without having remorse. And they've been trying to do free spells. Someone wants to stop any progress on your way to success, alright? And a community of people have got involved in doing that too. They've been doing dream attacks, okay? You are under the attack of spiritual entities that are trying to defeat you in astral realms. Because this mature man, he's been doing binding spells also. Somebody's using spellware to keep you from using your personal powers. So what this mature man, his daughter, and a community, a group full of people do, and people who are involved in taking money under the table at this courthouse, right, they bind either the divine masculine or divine feminine in spirit. They do some sort of binding spells, yeah? Then they spiritually bully that person, astrally bully that person, and then they try and bump that person off for. If the person survives, they'll just say, right, we'll get these nurses, alright, to say they've got this mental disorder or that mental disorder, and no one will believe them. no one will believe them. 0505, because they've been involved in this type of criminal activity for this mature man, 39 years or more. Somebody's working to have you soul tied to them because they want to be a part of keeping hold of some like money, because it is money involved. Okay, this corrupt courthouse has also got involved, yeah, in trying to take divine masculine, divine feminine's hair, blood or nail samples, similar to what they've done to me, yeah, and trying to set this person up for crimes they've not committed, okay, scapegoating, yeah, 555 on the clock there, scapegoating, yeah. They've been working together, okay, to make the divine masculine or divine feminine erupt and get mad and angry, because they like that. They like it. So they can go, oh look, she's getting mad, she's getting angry. Oh, you've made her get mad and angry. Here we go. Here's some coinage for you. Yeah, from stolen money. Yeah, from a lot of corruption. But you know what people are like anyways. You know what people are like. 2 of Wands in reverse, cowards. Then we've got the Hermit card. They're all under investigation. Okay? They want to back this divine masculine, divine feminine in a corner. Yeah? Outnumber them. Outnumber them. Outnumber them. Recruit. Outnumber them. Outnumber them. Recruit. Because there's been a lot of recruiting. A lot of recruiting. 3 of Wands in reverse. They're trying to stop, obviously, someone's progress on the way to success. They're trying to stop it, okay? They also don't want anyone else waking up to their tactics and what they do to get away with severe crimes. And what they do to get away with severe crimes. They could be jealous of this masculine or feminine's spiritual knowledge, yeah? Jealous of the guidance they receive. 2 of Pentacles in reverse. They work at a dangerously low vibrational frequency. Yeah. 6 of Wands in reverse. And the Fool card. So they've took some sort of recognition for somebody else's work, okay? So that's what it is. They've took some sort of recognition for somebody else's work, okay? 9 of Wands in reverse. They don't want them to defend themselves. You see this with the astral attacks, okay? Because they're conjuring up that of a low vibrational frequency to astrally attack this divine masculine, divine feminine in the 4th dimension. Alright? Yeah. And then they will try and work, yeah, in the 5th dimension to make things manifest in the 3rd dimension. Alright? So they are joined into some sort of cult, coven. 5 of Wands in reverse. Maybe they've stopped competing and battling for a bit with a Star card in reverse because they've made themselves ill. With what they've been conjuring up, okay, with what they've been sending to this divine masculine, divine feminine, yeah, it's all been returned. 4 of Pentacles in reverse and 3 of Cups in reverse. They've started a lot of malicious gossip and rumours, and they are getting other people involved, yeah, doing some sick shit. And I mean some sick shit, alright? To deliberately make this divine masculine, divine feminine ill, or appear to be ill, or they have been ill at some times because of the amount of attacks, what they've been doing, and they've been conjuring up that of a low vibrational frequency. They've been paying other people, yeah, in the local community to start malicious gossip and rumours, and they've been getting paid money under the table, okay? So they could be meeting up in cars, meeting up in a certain location, alright, either cash in hand like this, yeah, and some putting money or giving them cheques so they can deposit that cheque into their account. So some of these meetups, so to avoid cameras, to avoid being watched, okay, they could have been victorious in some of these attacks also, but with the Six of Wands in reverse, it was a false victory. And because they think they've won. They think they've won, alright? We've got a King of Swords in reverse who's also involved. Okay? He's been involved in a lot of corruption. He's got away with a lot of crimes, okay? And he's involved in doing a lot of online bullying and recruiting people to start malicious gossip and rumours. So he loves malicious gossip and rumours about this 1122. Because if this has happened to a feminine, if this has happened to a feminine, yeah, because this happens to masculine and feminines like around the world, they've all got 1133 similar tactics. King of Swords in reverse, if this is happening to a feminine, yeah, they're mad because this feminine left them. Okay? They are mad. They are mad. Five of Pentacles. Ace of Cups. Because I'm getting a female figure left him. Again, this is a collective reading, yeah? So a female figure left this man. And because she left this man, because of some sort of domestic violence, and to keep herself and if they had a child together or children safe, okay? There's no love in his cup. His cup is always empty. He's only got a love for teaming up in a cult or a group or a gang, alright? 10 of Wands in reverse. He wants to offload his karmic debt onto somebody else, okay? So they've all got involved in doing some sick shit for a long time. They're just wanting to take control of this masculine or feminine, right? I'm getting it could be a female figure they're doing it to, right? But even if it is happening, it's happening. It's happening to multiple people, yeah? Because this is how they work. Unexpected income and wealthy man. Someone who works in, like a lawyer, judge, my nose is stinging while I'm picking that up. It's stinging because one of these courthouses or one of these law firms, yeah, they've been getting paid with cocaine. That's why my nose is stinging. They've been getting paid with cocaine, alright? That's why my nose is stinging. So they're getting paid in either money or drugs, yeah, to continue this. And because they're all cokeheads, and they're all going to get pulled in for drug testing. They're all cokeheads. They're all cokeheads. They're all frigging cokeheads. Look, Ace of Cups in reverse. They're jealous of this divine masculine, divine feminine's destiny, okay? They know that this masculine or feminine doesn't deserve this, alright? They know they don't deserve this. Even with the Page of Wands in reverse, they're even getting little boys and girls to start spreading rumours, but that's been eliminated. Yeah, to work at a low vibrational frequency, because it's a dream of theirs, yeah, to have a load of people working underneath them, yeah, the bully boys, these adults, getting the kids involved in bullying, lying, spreading malicious rumours, yeah, because they're jealous of divine masculine and divine feminine's independence. They could have sent someone to court or date. Okay? He's been watched. That was a bad investment for him. He's been watched. Because of his involvement. Oh, 15-15. Oh, look. Addicts. They're trying to lie, do all these horrible things to get the one who's speaking the truth locked up. Okay? They've been poisoning food, water, drinks. Poisoning food, water and drinks. They even want this divine masculine, this divine feminine's cup, because this divine masculine or divine feminine's cup is always overflowing. There's females involved and there is masculines. Look, they'll send someone who got in. Be careful, someone not caught in a dating you is dealing with a lot of energetic burdens and dark entities. So, someone who's carrying sexually transmitted demons. Someone is doing magic or spell work to take love from you because they want your cup to be empty. So they're jealous of the cup as well. It's a very jealous crew, alright? That's what we'll call them, jealous crew. Yeah. The jealous crew. Who pay people to drive round in the cars and shoot a shit ton of witchcraft towards the one who they've stolen from, okay? Because they're handing money out, corrupt law enforcement's turning blind eyeballs, alright? Because they're involved. They're a set of addicts. They're involved in trying to poison divine masculine, divine feminine. It's linking to courthouses, linking to dodgy lawyer firms, and then linking to corrupt hospitals who are willing to poison people for the right amount of money. Light magic. Somebody's using spell work with good intentions to help you. Look, I said dark energy, witchcraft, dark energy. They're using people in cars to stalk. Alright. And then they'll just literally bees past wherever you're walking, shoot a shit ton of black magic at you, alright? Shit ton of dark energy. Because they want to see you getting mad, you see. Six of Wands in reverse. They're hunting this person down. They're lying because they want to keep hold of some sort of money, and this mature man wants to stay wealthy along with this King of Swords in reverse. He wants to stay wealthy because they've took something. They've took something. They've took someone else's prosperity. Yeah? It's a big coinage, so it doesn't just have to be one coin, alright? It could be multiple coins. What they are giving to people. And they're expecting these nurses to poison, drink, food, water, yeah? And then go, oh look, struggling with the mental health. Oh, now they're ill. Now they've got the Rona. Now they've got this. Now they've got that. Now they've got all these horrible viruses. Now they've got these diseases, yada yada. But the thing is, the Most High is working to clear any of this poison out of the divine masculine, divine feminine's body. The Most High is working. Trying to stop divine masculine, divine feminine from meditating, alright? Okay. Alchemizing, so transmutation of that negative energy back into light. Balance, Archangel Raphael is helping balance divine masculine, divine feminine's body, the one who they are attacking, okay? Creativity. They're all getting really creative with their malicious rumours and lies. Really creative with their malicious rumours and lies. That's why the angels, the Most High, is working together to bring justice. okay? Because this is a sick, sinister set of people, and for these people who are working in law enforcement, we've got forgiveness in reverse. I don't even think that some of them can live with what they've done and live with being outed, yeah? They can't live with what they've done. They can't live with being outed. They really can't live with what they've done. Past life recall. Some of these people did very similar in a past life with this past life recall. Angel of the Presence, Metatron, everything, what they've been doing, the Most High has been recording it all. The Most High has been recording it all. A legion of demons. So, they've been binding this divine masculine, divine feminine, lying, conjuring up demons, okay? A legion of demonic spirits have been dispatched to attack you through people around you. So anyone in this community, yeah, is getting used. Because they're all just getting used. They're all just using each other. You will be victorious over any attacks against you, no matter what they do, you will win. They've done mirror magic, okay? Mirror work. Someone is using mirror work to bring you problems and issues. But you are protected. What they have planned will not work, okay? So they've been doing mirror magic, freeze spells, legions of demons, okay? Somebody's trying to manifest you in their life. So with this manifesting, what came out in reverse, no, meditating in reverse, sorry, they're trying to stop this divine masculine, divine feminine, and they're doing this to multiple people, okay? They're doing this to multiple people. There's not just one person, they're doing it to. They're reckless. They're doing it to everybody they can without having no remorse. They don't have no remorse. They don't have no compassion. They don't have no empathy. Because the money, power hungry, yeah, and they just seek to take control over anyone else's assets, anyone else's generational wealth, okay, anyone else's unexpected income, because they've been pulling strings in all areas. Oh yeah, and oh yeah. They've been pulling strings in absolutely everyone, in every area they can get their grubby little mitts on. Yeah. Yeah. Intuition in reverse. They don't want you to use your intuition. Once divine masculine or divine feminine defeats these people, okay, they then need to recruit even more. Because that's what they're always looking for. They're always looking for new members, new people to recruit. So they'll be like, right, work against this masculine, this feminine, alright? Messaging each other. Tell him, her, you love him or her, and help us bump them off, okay? So there's been a couple of partners, ex-partners, involved in working with this mature man and this King of Swords in reverse and this group of malicious bullies, okay? To try and bump the masculine and the feminine, the masculine or the feminine off. So basically, this person, because it is happening to multiple people, they're getting it from all angles, physically, yeah, online, astrally, spiritually, conjuring demons up, shit ton of dark energy, alright? Because they are trying to do an insurance job, alright? But we've got corrupt law officials, lawyers, judges, corrupt law firms, lawyers, judges, solicitors, clerks, whatever they call them, all. They've all been involved in inheritance and insurance jobs, okay? They could have even tried to sell Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine's herb, the one who they're doing this to. They're trying to sell the herb, okay? Because all they're doing is just monetising everywhere. Anyone who comes into this, masculine or feminine's herb, flat, what have you, they've all been sent by this cult, this group, this gang, whatever they want to call themselves, to murder. Because of the tactics, what they've done, yeah, they're going to be linking now, because they've got away with this with other people multiple times, okay? They've got away with this, multiple people, multiple times, so they know what they're doing, because they're highly skilled in scapegoating and setting people up. Highly skilled in scapegoating. So what they want is they want this masculine or feminine to go down, yeah, bump this person off. They've started malicious rumours, lies, you know. The amount of shit what they're doing is unbelievable. And then, if they succeed in bumping this person off, they're going to bang a shit ton of crimes on them, what they've not even committed, and say, look at this person, they've done this, they've done that. And these in this courthouse, who are supposed to be bringing justice and balance to the situation, they're all getting some money under the table too. They're all getting money under the table too. Where is the cards what I need? They're all getting it all under the table, you know. And if there was taking like cash in hand, okay, they'd be probably getting watched. They've definitely been getting watched by the Most High and the angels, because, well, the angels are reporting back to me so I can pass this message on. Something to do with cars, you know. They will, if this Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine is out shopping, alright, they will follow, alright. They will follow this person, but they'll give them money for petrol, you know, or go to a petrol station, fill up your tank. I'll give you some money to continue this gang affiliated or cult, coven affiliation, group, gang, whatever they want to call themselves, because they're going to give themselves a right shit name. Low rank crank crew. Yeah. Low rank crank crew. I don't know. The energy work done against you is done. It's over. The spell has been broken. So if there's ever been like any viruses, what they've give, Raphael is bringing balance to this Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine's mind, body, soul and spirit. Because if they tried to transmit some sort of spiritually transmitted disease, spiritually transmitted demon, okay, so much balance here. They are working to remove any viruses, any demons, because the energy work is done, it's over, okay, the spell has been broken, the demons have been slayed. Yes then, the demons have been slayed. I'm going to shout that out the window. They've been slayed. Now, this because it's very stressful, okay? It is very stressful. Anyone, yeah, anyone is going to get mad or angry. Anyone's going to get mad or angry going through this. It doesn't, not in a bad way, but it doesn't matter how close you are to the divine. With all these lies, with all this malicious gossip and rumours, yeah, with taking whatever they can from this divine masculine, divine feminine and withholding that because they want to keep hold of that for themselves, even getting little kiddies involved, okay? But what it is these little kiddies involved, they've got no love in their cups either. Their cups is empty. Their cups is empty. Some of these kids who's got involved because of the level of deception, what they're involved in, the level of corruption, what they're involved in, because these demons are going back to and returning 3131 to sender, yeah. Oh Lord. Some of these kids, because of what they've done and the people who's got involved, some of these kids are never gonna experience real love. Because all these adults have got is a love for major corruption, major injustice, alright? Horrible, evil things. And I don't know why, but they think it's not gonna ripple through and rain down the entire bloodline for generations and generations and generations and generations to come. Even the people who work in law, the ones who think they're real high up and untouchable and all that, because they've got a suit, yeah, because they've got a badge, because they've got friggin' lanyards, because they've got these so-called power positions. Do you know, it just makes me feel really sorry for the kids. And the kids and their kids and the kids' kids. It really does. It really does. It really does. Army. So some of these people involved are actively serving in the army or in the military. Some of them are ex-military, okay? So they're highly skilled and trained in stalking, in spying, okay? They're highly skilled in bumping people off, yeah? And then when they leave, they continue that corruption, join into one of these cults, covens, groups, gangs, yeah? Because they can't handle it in the army, because there's always bigger boys than them in the army. There's always, yeah, they just want to get this divine friggin' masculine feminine in a box, okay? They are these law people with this suitcase. They are putting chunks of money in a suitcase and they're off on the run with wads and wads of cash. They're putting money in suitcases and they're on the run because they know they're under investigation for forged documents. They're on the run. A nephew's been involved. One of these people's nephews has been involved in playing games. No, 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 no. No, no, no. So we've got a daughter, a nephew, one of these. Daughter's nephews. Okay. Could have labelled this divine masculine, divine feminine as incompetent in the courthouse like they have done with me, alright? Labelled me as incompetent in order to cover similar fucking shit up that they've done to me, alright? Major corruption, steal. So they can steal some sort of wealth, okay? Stolen identity. Skinhead is significant because this bald person is like a skinhead and a hooligan. Could be linked to football hooligans. Okay. Or something like Green Street, you know, because what these cranks do, right, unfortunately for them, is they see something on a movie, something like what's happened, something what's happened, you know, like these based on true stories and stuff like that. Crime documentaries, stuff like that, they'll watch them and they'll see how these people work and move in order to get away with a shit ton of crimes for years and years and years and years and years. Yeah? So then they will get inspo, okay, 3636, from these movies, from criminal documentaries. They will become inspired in the wrong way. They will become inspired to do wrong. They will then become inspired by storylines, you know, and then they'll be like, right, I'm inspired by this person here, this person there, so I'm going to use their energy, I'm going to act like them, yeah? And what some of these people do, because they don't know who they are, okay? They really don't know who they are. And some of these people could be going to mental health services, wanting help, and they're saying things like, I don't know who I am, okay? I don't know who I am. I was trying to think of the word then. Munchausen syndrome, alright? So someone in this connection has Munchausen syndrome, okay? They want to act like people around them, okay? Take on their personality, take on their energy, yeah? And then what they will do is they'll look to people on the TV, alright, for inspo. Then they'll start acting like that person too. So they don't know who they are because they've got Munchausen syndrome. So someone in this connection's got Munchausen syndrome. One second. Someone's got Munchausen. Let me open a page up. Open the page up. Right. So Munchausen syndrome, or a factitious disorder imposed on self, is a psychological disorder where a person fakes or causes their own symptoms of illness to receive attention and sympathy. So, yeah, individuals with this condition may lie about symptoms, tamper with test results, self-harm, or aggravate existing conditions to maintain the sick role. Clues can include visiting many different hospitals, having an inconsistent medical history, or undergoing many painful procedures. No way. fabricating symptoms, lying about symptoms like headaches or seizures, self-inflicting harm, cutting or burning themselves, poisoning themselves, or reopening wounds, manipulating tests, deliberately causing abnormal results such as heating a thermometer to a fake fever or adding blood to a urine sample. No way. Exaggerating conditions, making pre-existing conditions worse or exaggerating symptoms to fit a narrative or a serious illness. Frequent medical care, going to many different hospitals or healthcare providers, sometimes in different cities. Inconsistent history, a history of complex illnesses that lacks supporting evidence or doesn't match medical records. Alright. 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 Yeah. For example, just a little tiny example. They tried to say I'm bipolar, what have you. I don't give a fucking damn. My ex, who's kind of Munchausen and fucking fucked in the head, yeah, he goes round and now he's trying to be like, I might be a little bit bipolar. Munchausen, alright? So we've got unexplained worsenings, symptoms that worsen for no apparent reason, okay? So they'll be like, oh, I've got a real bad headache and stuff, but they're doing a shit ton of fucking black magic and shit like that, so it could be the black magic backfiring. Then they'll book themselves in 4141 for a frigging brain scan, alright? Yeah, so some people here, yeah, in this connection, have got Munchausen, and they're always going to doctors all the time. You see these people going to doctors all the time for symptoms what they've not even got. You know what I mean? Like, oh, no way. So they've got some severe psychological issues, psychopaths, sociopaths, narcissists, right? And they're all bullying, teaming, yeah, trying to label somebody else as some sort of mental health because that's what they want, so then they don't listen to that person. But if you look on medical records, yeah, all these people involved, a lot of them are on tablets themselves and they just want money for it. They're on tablets and everything themselves. Mental health issues, a history of other mental health problems such as depression, PTSD or personality disorders. But what they are doing to this person, they've got no excuse. They've got no excuse whatsoever to be doing this level of corruption, forging documents, you know what I mean? Probably trying to hide money in a box or some sort of safe or something like that, mullah, yeah? Then they've been giving these corrupt law enforcement who's been helping them money, and they've been banging it in the suitcase and they're going on the run because they don't want to get caught because they're struggling with some severe mental health issues too. Some of them are psychopaths, right? So a psychopath is a person with a personality disorder characterised by traits like a lack of empathy. I said they've got no empathy. They have no empathy, yeah, but then they'll make stuff up and make out like this has happened and that's happened to it, and they're chatting shit, yeah? They're chatting shit while they're doing all this sick shit because they all think they're going to get away with it. And yeah, lack of empathy and remorse, manipulation, antisocial behaviour. While a psychopath is not an official diagnosis, the condition shares many characteristics with antisocial personality disorder, ASPD, and is often associated with egocentric because they're very egotistical. They're very egotistical. A lot of them are soulless, okay? Very arrogant also. They've got careless behaviour, okay? disregard for the feelings and rights of others. So they've got disregard for the feelings and the rights of others. Narcissist, okay? Extreme self-involvement characterised by a grandiose self, however you pronounce that, sense of self-importance and a constant need for admiration and a lack of empathy for others. This can range from occasional narcissistic traits to the clinical diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, a mental health condition that affects how a person sees themselves and their relationships, okay? And I said arrogant, yeah? Individuals with NPD may be arrogant, manipulative and entitled, exploiting others to achieve their own gains, to achieve their own goals, right? So there could be some type of sexual exploitation around this, okay? And sexually degrading the person, alright? Because that's what they get into, that's what they get off on. And so do these corrupt police officers, so do these corrupt lawyers, judges, solicitors, so do these corrupt people. And if there's somebody who works in this so-called power position who has these sick mental health disorders where they've got no compassion for others, then how do we expect any of these people to bring justice when they're all about helping somebody steal absolutely everything, forging documents? They could be forged documents in a box. So these corrupt law officials who's got involved in this, there's forged documents in some sort of box or filings. They will say, some of them, they've got depression, but they're doing all these horrible things. Yeah? They're doing all these horrible things, right? But when they're doing all these horrible things, they're laughing about it. It's highly entertaining to them. But if this group or whatever turns against them and does the same thing to them, they don't like it. Yeah? They don't like it. They're probably threatening to take their own lives or something like that. Okay? Theft magic. Somebody's out to take something that is yours. This could be love, money, energy, etc. So they definitely get off on this masculine or feminine's energy. Alright? So they want to suck that energy out of them and roam round in their energy and go, look at me, I'm roaming round in someone else's energy. What do you mean? Yeah, they're changing the narrative because they want to look like a hero. Wow. Wow. Straight up copy and pasting someone else's personality. They watch people on the TV and they're like, look at what he's doing, look at what she's doing. I'm going to go do that now. Yeah, because I've got Munchausen syndrome and I don't know who I am. And that's what they're like. They don't know who they are. They've got severe personality disorders, right? And they're trying to intimidate, yeah, lie, gang stalking, bullying, online, physically, out in the streets, all right, targeting this person to try and intimidate this person because they're trying to stand up and speak the truth about this frigging level of corruption that's going down. Start. They'll be like, and they'll even get the kids. They'll even get kids. Go on, go start on him, go start on her. Yeah, go on then. I'll give you some pennies under the table. Satanism. A lot of them are satanic. They worship the devil, alright? They pray to the devil. They make deals with, like, devils, demons, you know. Obviously, if they're conjuring demons up, yeah. If they're conjuring demons up, yeah. But guess what? The devil and these demons don't even like them. And what they've conjured on up is now attacking them, 4949. So what they've conjured up is now attacking them. And even people if you've seen on documentaries, the ones who worship the devil, yada yada yada, and do this level of activity, in the end, they all get locked up. In the end, they all get locked up. You know what I mean? In the end, they get locked up. No amount of money is going to stop this shit. No amount of money and paying money under the table is going to stop this shit. Yeah, so they're getting in their fields, but I'm struggling with my mental health. I'm not doing it. And they're trying to run away from their pending charges because they know they fucked up and it's game over. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. They don't want to hear that. And then they want to say, these people who's got involved in doing this level of corruption, starting a hate campaign, alright, starting malicious gossip and rumours, a shit ton of bullying, and I mean heavy bullying from every single angle, alright? Physical bullying like out on the streets, online, okay, cyber bullying in the groups, alright? To make this person get mad and angry because they've been backed into a corner and it's coming from all angles, yeah? They don't want the truth to be told about them, yeah? Because they're very egotistical and they're very good at manipulating, and some of these people, 5151, can cry on cue. Right, so it's emotional manipulation, alright? It is emotional manipulation. They're very good at manipulating other people's emotions and tugging on other people's heartstrings, creating a false narrative, alright, to get that person locked up, or bullying from all angles. And if that person, yeah, stands up for themselves, they come in with all these swords and they retaliate. Then they want to lock the person up who they've been bullying, stalking for a number of years. For a number of years. Thinking to family, and I was thinking this masculine or feminine has been surrounded by these cranks for a number of years, for a long time, alright? Hold on. I just had to click my neck then. And their family lawyers are trying to help them cover up this crime, forging documents because they've stolen. So they're like, oh yeah, go on then. We'll journey out the town, or we'll journey up and down the country, and we'll get some help from this law enforcement now. We'll get some help from this lawyer, solicitor and judge now. Alright? Yeah, recruit. We'll even get someone from overseas to come and help us out, cover this theft up, alright? Because their occupation, alright, is to cover up people getting in on thefts. Yeah, someone who's well good. We'll get you from overseas, alright? We'll get you from overseas, alright? You help us cover up this theft, alright? Because we know it's in your occupation to get us off on these serious crimes. And if we've got the right amount of money to pay you, you're going to pop a battle in the courtroom for us, aren't you? And let us get away with it. What? What? That's stone cold. I'm not surprised because the video has been going on for a long time. That's freezing. It's freezing. Dark Warlock in a crash. Okay. Got a lawsuit. You could be standing up and fighting against this because you're wanting to make changes. Oh, surrounding the corruption. No way. No way. No way. Oh, Lord. Trafficking did come out, right, but I thought I don't even want to frigging go on to this, but because there is some sort of sexual degrading, okay, there is a form of sexual abuse linking into this, where they like to sexually abuse and sexually degrade the victims and they get off on it. Hold on. Right, so the act of a person who likes to sexually degrade non-consenting victims is characterised of sexual sadism disorder. Such an individual is called a sexual sadist. So there's sadism, deriving pleasure, especially sexual pleasure, from inflicting pain, suffering, or humiliation on another person, but in large groups, okay? And sexual sadism disorder, a formal psychiatric diagnosis in the DSM-5 and ICD-11 for individuals who act on recurring and intense sexual arousal from the physical or psychological suffering of another person with a non-consenting victim. And I'm telling you, this person doesn't consent to that. So no wonder they keep standing up for themselves. Jesus Christ. Or if the urges cause the individual significant distress or impairment in functioning, they're deliberately trying to constantly, make this person depressed, alright? Wanting them to contemplate taking their own life because they'll get off on that too. 5757 because they're sick. And some of these people, who's got involved have struggled with suicide themselves or make out like they're suicidal themselves to gain sympathy. Oh my Lord. Predatory harasser, because the predators, alright? There's predators involved. In the context of sexual harassment, this term is used to describe a person who gets sexual thrills from humiliating others and may target those who do not resist. And because these corrupt lawyers, judges, solicitors, they're involved in that because they get off on that too. Of course they'll turn a blind eye and accept some money under the table and a bag of cocaine and stacks of cash money in the suitcases. Oh, no. Non-consensual sexual degrading is abuse and a crime such as sexual assault or sexual homicide. No way. No way. And this is why some of the police and the corrupt law enforcement people don't want to bring people justice, because they're involved in stuff like that too. And because they've got these power positions and they've got badges and they've got lanyards and stuff like that, they get away with it. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. And then they start getting withdrawal symptoms because they're addicted to this person's energy. and I mean absolutely addicted, 5959, and they're addicted to keeping up the same cycle because these predators, they've got away with it for so long. You are moving on past those who have issues with you. It no longer matters because they could want to make themselves out to be, you know, obviously, because if they're joining into some sort of cult or coven and shit like that, they're all involved in complying with this type of these serious, sinister crimes. They're all involved and they're complying. It's not a specific legal term, complying with sinister crimes, right? They're an accomplice, okay? And they're always looking for people to recruit, alright? Always looking for people to recruit, to comply in these sinister crimes. Encouragement to another person in the commission of a crime. They're all encouraging each other. Weapons. Acting as a lookout. Acting as a lookout. You keep watching this person, will ya? Keep complying with these crimes. Come on. We'll get you some money under the... Come on. Get you some money under the table. Neighbours are even involved in complying. I know mine are. I know mine are. And I'm like, keep watching this person, will ya? Yeah, I know, call them a nutter, call them this, alright. Gaslight them, alright. They're speaking the truth, aren't they? Let's gaslight them. Sick. Oh, I feel like I'm going to have to leave it there because obviously it's just shocking. It's just shocking. Conspiracy, so they're all conspiring, okay, against the person who they've been doing this to for a very, very, very long time, and I mean extremely long time. Involves an agreement, so conspiracy involves an agreement between two or more people, and there's a lot of people, to carry out an unlawful purpose along with some form of a overt act towards the commission of the crime. Unlike complicity, an agreement is sufficient and assistance is not necessarily for a conspiracy charge. Failure to prevent offences. In some corporate crime contexts, an entity can be held liable if it fails to have adequate procedures in place to prevent an associated person from committing specific criminal offences intended to benefit the organisation, because the organisation is benefit from it because they're receiving some sort of money and they're all getting involved in doing this stuff. Oh God, it's making me feel sick. People in the local community, yeah, they're getting involved in doing that. But wait until it starts happening to their kids or their kids' kids. Oh God. Wait. It's making me feel real sick. I'm going to have to tap out of this because it's making me bark. It's making me bark like fuck, right? And they want everyone else in the community to go on, intimidate this person, set up a camera, alright? Keep watching this person. I know, but we just really want you to continue this level of abuse, please. 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 Makes fake accounts to watch you from. They really want to affect this person's health, yeah? Trying to do domination spells, alright? Let's go down, let's dominate, and let's keep doing this to you, and keep doing it to multiple people as well. Oh, no. Honestly, I've just gone past a marry me spell because one of these people who's involved in doing it to a feminine, they want them to go back to them after doing all these evil acts and evil deeds. They want to try and fill this person's shoes or boots. Yeah, they want to be you. No way. They're disgusting. Starting drama, okay. More corruption, more injustice. Why do you think I do this type of shit, yeah? Because I want to bring justice to people who's been through these situations, and these corrupt law enforcement, yeah, they're going to lose their jobs. They're going to lose their jobs, okay? They're going to lose absolutely everything. Because this is sinister, yeah? I mean, how can anyone who works in law, yeah, sit back and let this happen for a very severe amount of time and not do anything about it? Destroyed, shattered, broken, fucked up. How dare you leave us? How dare you not want to just bow down and let us dominate you and take some frigging stuff from you? Take everything we can from you as a form of control. Starting drama, alright, fulfilling a fantasy because they fantasise on doing these horrible things because they get sexual gratification from it. Then if they get in another relationship, they'll get in their feels and they'll start going, I love you, I love you, I love you, you're gorgeous, you're gorgeous, you're gorgeous. Then if they try and run away and get away from them, yeah, because they got away with it for that long, they're like, you're not getting away from me. You're not getting away from it. And they've even got kids involved in doing it. Look, page of wands in reverse. They've even got kids involved who seek gratification too, doing some evil sexual acts and stuff. Yeah. Wow. So gaslighting, the practice of psychologically manipulating someone into questioning their own sanity, memory, or powers of reasoning. That never happened, I'll say. Even when they know it did. Look at all this, you know, we're outnumbering you. Oh, it's never happened. Corrupt law enforcement, like, no, it never, of course we will. And when they know it has. When they know it has. When they know it has. And people who try and get away from these situations, there's not enough help out there for us. There's not enough help out there for us because they're willing, yeah, to just sling the person who's going through this and treat them like trash too. Drag them around, alright? Sexually degrade them. Continue the level of abuse from all angles because they're toxic too. Not all of them, apparently, not all of them. Alright? But a very large amount of them are. Because they've been in this so-called power position for that long. They got away with so much corruption themselves, alright? And then even if some of these people who get involved in stuff like that, and they get locked up, the police officers will end up being the best mates or something. Yeah. And corrupt law enforcement will be the best mates. So you could be trying to set the record straight. Like I say, you could be getting angry with the level of corruption, the level of abuse, and what you've gone through. But emotional intelligence, if it's been happening, you're going to get angry. But they like that as well. Hold on. It's kind of a form of narcissistic control, yeah? So if you get angry with what they're doing, even the kids are going through it because they're recruiting more narcissists and shit. And if you get angry about it, look at you. Look at you. You're a nutter, 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 you're a nutter. Psychological warfare. Actions intended to reduce an opponent's moral. Okay? But these people have no morals themselves. So, psychological operations to influence the opinions, emotions, attitude and behaviour of opposition groups. And again, they're always looking to recruit more people just like them until, yeah, they're joining to people up and down the country, city, state, continent, town, and then they're joining around the world. And that's why they have similar tactics around the world, yeah? Because they've got military involved in doing this shit, alright? Lawyers, judges, solicitors, you name it, you name it, you name it, you name it, and you name it. They envy the people strong enough to be able to speak out about this, alright? They envy the person who they've stolen from, okay? They envy because of the strength. It's making me feel sick. A feeling of discontented or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities or look. So they become envious. So that's why they want to steal, we've got 4 of Pentacles in reverse, and take everything they can from this person because it gives them a semi-lob on. Because it gives them a semi-lob on. It turns them on. Because they've got away with it for that long, yeah? And these are the type of people who need some severe psychiatric treatment, yeah? There's going to be no amount of medication what's going to be able to fix these people. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying there's no amount of medication that can fix these type of people because all they want to do is degrade their victims, sexually degrade their victims. A lot of these people involved are jealous of this person, what they're doing it to, but they do it to multiple people. Okay, they do it to multiple people. And then what they want to do is they want to tie to this person's soul. You are so tied to someone and finding it hard to release a connection because they don't want to let you go. And again, a lot of them, right, some of them have already sold the soul. So then they want to tie themselves to the one who's got a soul because they want a piece of that soul. They want to have this soul. Sick. They want to have this soul. They want to have this soul purpose, alright? Honestly. I'm going to leave it there because that is deep, alright? It is sick. For some people, this is going to resonate from start to finish. You know, it is going to resonate from start to finish. Some people, some of it's going to resonate, alright? And for some, you could be on here, right? And you could be involved in doing all this sick, sinister stuff, spiritually attacking, conjuring demons up, yeah? lying, all right, to get someone locked up for crimes they've not committed, bullying, cyberbullying, yada yada. If you've been involved in this shit, you've now been locked in spiritual prison. If you've been using, yeah, witchcraft like these dark warlocks and witches, yeah, you've now been locked in spiritual prison and you've now been stripped of all your spiritual gifts. How about that? How about that? And how about that? Because they want this level of abuse, level of horrible things to ripple down their bloodline. So he's willing to do it to his own daughter. And he has done. For a long time. Alright? So he's doing it to his own daughter. Alright? If that daughter's got grandchildren, he's doing it to the grandchildren too. Alright? And if this has happened to a female, alright, and then this female's had children, whatever, gone through domestic violence, left this man because they're sick of the domestic violence and the sexual degrading and stuff like that, then he's gone and joined on to this father figure, and he could be doing it to his own children too, alright, because they've got away with it for so long and law enforcement has turned a blind eye. Now, if it was me, yeah, and I worked in these law enforcements, yeah, I'd sack them straight away. I'd sack them straight away, yeah, because basically, if this shit stays up and running, it's going to happen to other people's children throughout their full life. And they don't care because these corrupt law enforcement monetise on it, alright? They monetise on it. Even if they get video evidence and that, they'll upload it on dark web and then monetise on it. Got a condom there. Because they get off on it. It's game over. They get off on it. Even these fake friends in the community who's been involved in this, they're under investigation. So you could be an undercover investigator, yeah, bringing the fucking truth to light, okay? You could be an undercover investigator, alright, locking these motherfuckers up. Because they just want to fulfill a fantasy of psychological abuse, okay? Like physical abuse, mental abuse, yeah, which is psychological abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, you name it, they're all involved in that. They could be telling the partners as well. And then the partners is like enjoying the gossip. What did you, oh yeah, oh that too. And it starts happening to them, and then they're like, oh, no, now I'm getting depressed. This is what happens when you turn a blind eye. It just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. They recruit more and more and more and more people to get involved in this sick, sinister fucking shit. Trying to take away someone else's financial independence. Financial abuse. I said I was frigging going. Financial abuse. I've missed a frigging letter out. I said I was going. Tell you why? Because I'm dying for a sec. It's stressing me out. Financial abuse is when someone takes advantage of another person's finances. We want to take control of that as well. Your finances. Because we want to make out like you can't even control your own finances, alright? And if they've got kids, alright, we'll snatch the kids because they can't even control the finances and that, because I just want the money. It can include theft, fraud, internet scamming, coercion related to the person's financial affairs. It can also include the misuse or misappropriation of property, possessions or benefits. The Care Act 2014. So in this connection, some of these people could have claimed to be, oh yeah, I'm looking after him, I'm looking after her, and they're not. What they're doing is they're bullying in groups. Then wanting to pass guns around to end the person who's speaking on out, who they've robbed from, who they've done these horrible oh look, kill a couple. Kill a couple involved. Fuck me. Age 60 to 65 this killer couple is. So they've got away. They're recruiting any motherfucker who's just as sick as them. You're just as sick as I am. I'll come join our team, our group, our gang, our cult. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Two of wands in reverse. These and 5 of swords. These enemies are cowards. What they have done to multiple people is absolutely heartbreaking. PTSD, they could want to be causing, do you know what I mean? Post-traumatic stress, depression, anxiety, panic attacks, sleepless nights. Sleepless nights because nobody's listening. Shh, shut up about it. Manipulate, manipulate, manipulate. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Honestly, I'm going because they're all a set of haters. Alright? They all want to get rooms of each other. They're all slamming each other. You're just as sick as me, aren't you? Like, boing, 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 boing. That's what these fake friends are all about. But like I say, they're under investigation. Okay. Oh yeah, this is making me feel sick, so I'm going. Because honestly, it's just sickening how they've got so many psychopaths, alright, and sick people in this group, gang, cult, coven, whatever they want to call themselves, because they are doing sex magic and everything to win sexual control over people. Oh look, I'm going to do some sex magic. Oh yeah, and then I'm going to reel them in. Because they have to do this magic for other people to view them as sexy. Because if they stopped doing this magic, right, and people actually took the shades off, they'd see right through these people. They would see right through these people, and they would really see how ugly these people are in spirit. Because they are. They're really ugly in spirit. They're really ugly in their hearts. Really ugly. Sending peace, love and light.